Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. In one corner, we have the full English breakfast, decked out with a lineup so hearty it could go 24 rounds. In the other corner, the classic American breakfast flexes its muscles, built from bacon protein. Let's see who reigns supreme in the ultimate breakfast showdown, starting with America. The beauty of American breakfast is that there's no one-size-fits-all. It's a delicious mosaic that changes from coast to coast, influenced by class, taste buds, and local flavors. Hit a new diner every day and you get a different plate every time. That being said, there are a few breakfast buddies that make their way onto almost every American table. Let me paint you a tasty picture of these breakfast essentials. Eggs are the mainstays of American breakfasts, and Americans love to mix it up, from fluffy scrambled eggs to fancy omelets and those sunny side up or poached delights. There's an egg style for every mood. Scrambled eggs take the prize for being super easy yet totally tasty. But hey, everyone's egg expectations are different. Bacon is the breakfast MVP in America. These crispy strips are a breeze to cook up. Whether you're using a trusty pan, an iron skillet, or even popping them in the oven, packed with that savory, salty goodness and all that natural fat, bacon brings the perfect crunch to any American breakfast spread. It's a flavor bomb that's hard to resist. Pancakes are also a breakfast favorite in America. I mean, what's not to love? They're super easy to whip up, needing just a handful of pantry staples like eggs, milk, flour, baking powder, a splash of vanilla essence, and a dollop of butter. Mix it all up, pour it on the hot griddle, and you've got fluffy golden pancakes ready to be stacked and devoured. It's breakfast magic made simple. Sausages are a big hit at American breakfast tables, made from a mix of uncooked ground beef or pork, breadcrumbs for that perfect texture, and a flavorful blend of salt, pepper, sage, and other spices. American sausages pack a punch of meaty goodness. For breakfast, frying is a popular choice, giving them that golden crispiness that pairs perfectly with eggs. Hash browns are a breakfast lifesaver for busy Americans, made from shredded potatoes, onions for that extra kick, eggs to bind it all together, a sprinkle of flour, peppers for a pop of flavor, and a dash of spices. They're a delicious and satisfying morning treat. Easy to whip up in a hurry, hash browns are the go-to dish for folks rushing off to work in the morning. Crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. They're breakfast perfection. Now let's move on to things on the other side of the pond. The full English breakfast is known for its iconic lineup of dishes, each adding its own flavor to the feast. While there might be slight variations depending on where you enjoy it, a classic full English breakfast typically includes eggs are an integral part of the full English breakfast experience. English folks have mastered the art of enjoying eggs in various delightful ways, from soft scrambled to soft boiled, poached, sunny side up, and fluffy omelets. Soft scrambled eggs with their creamy texture and melt-in-your-mouth goodness hold a special place in English breakfast traditions, making them a popular choice among breakfast lovers in England and beyond. Baked beans are a quintessential part of the full English breakfast experience for the British. It's almost a crime to imagine a full English breakfast without a generous serving of those delicious saucy beans. The convenience of ready-made canned baked beans, easily heated on the stove or in the microwave, makes them a quick and tasty addition to any breakfast plate. Sausages are also a key component of the British breakfast experience. Made from a mix of pork, venison, beef, or various meat blends, along with a flavorful blend of herbs, spices, and cereals, British sausages are a savory delight. One difference from American sausages is the higher proportion of cereals in breakfast sausages, giving them a unique texture and flavor profile. Grilled tomatoes and mushrooms are the unsung heroes of the plate. Grilling tomatoes involves slicing them up and cooking them in a pan with a drizzle of vegetable oil until they're perfectly tender and bursting with sweet and sour flavors. Grilled mushrooms are a must-have component of the classic full English breakfast. Button mushrooms are a popular choice, sliced and fried in a pan with a sprinkle of salt and pepper to enhance their natural flavors. Black pudding is a polarizing food in British cuisine with a long history. It's a type of blood sausage made from a mixture of pork blood, pork fat, beef suet, and cereals like oatmeal, oat grains, or barley oats. While black pudding might not be everyone's cup of tea, it's a beloved delicacy enjoyed by millions in Britain. Bubble and squeak is a fantastic dish that makes clever use of leftover vegetables from the night before. It's made by mixing together those leftover veggies, sliced onions, mashed potatoes, and a sprinkle of salt, pepper, and other spices for added flavor. The name bubble and squeak comes from the sound it makes while cooking, bubbling and squeaking in the pan. Its crispy exterior and soft interior, achieved by frying in oil, create a delightful contrast in texture that many find irresistible. Toast is also a popular addition to the British breakfast table. It pairs wonderfully with beans, adding a bit of crunch and texture to the savory beans. You can spread some jam for a sweet touch or simply enjoy it with a generous slather of butter and a sprinkle of sugar for a classic treat. And while not as ubiquitous in the full English breakfast as it is in American breakfasts, crispy bacon still holds a special place on British breakfast tables. The full English breakfast is known for its generous portion sizes, often larger than typical American breakfast meals. That's because in England, breakfast is sometimes served later in the day, blurring the lines between breakfast and brunch, so it tends to be more substantial to satisfy hunger until the next meal. The full English breakfast includes a wider array of food anyway. The full English breakfast has a sort of unofficial standard that includes certain key elements like eggs, sausages, beans, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms, black pudding, toast, and bacon. While there may be slight variations in the preparation or inclusion of additional items, the core components remain consistent across most English breakfasts. American breakfasts, on the other hand, can vary widely from one place to another and even from one restaurant to another within the same area. American breakfasts might also include lighter options like cereals or yogurt, providing a wide spectrum of choices to cater to different tastes and preferences. American breakfast has been on a wild culinary ride for centuries. Back when America was just a twinkle in the British Empire's eye, folks from all over started showing up, each one bringing their own flavor and flair to the breakfast table. It's a tasty history lesson, with each immigrant group adding their special touch to the morning meal. Back in the day, before machines ruled the kitchen, breakfast was all about the basics: eggs, bread, and whatever leftovers survived from last night's feast. Cereals like porridge or oatmeal were the original fast food, easy to whip up and perfect for fueling up in a hurry. The full English breakfast is a beloved tradition that's deeply rooted in English history and culture. Many see it as a cornerstone of modern British cuisine, with breakfast delights that have stood the test of time. After the World Wars, the allure of the full English breakfast spread far beyond British shores. People around the world were captivated by its poshness and the sophisticated dining style it represented. Today, you can savor a full English breakfast in fancy hotels, cozy cafes, and charming breakfast spots worldwide. In short, the full English breakfast embodies a centuries-old tradition of morning meals, while the classic American breakfast, well, that reflects a fusion of flavors and influences from various culinary backgrounds. Regional variations for the full English breakfast include the full Welsh with its cockles and laver bread, the full Scottish and its potato scones, haggis, and oat cakes, the full Irish, which has soda bread, and the full Cornish with, you guessed it, Cornish potato cakes and hog's pudding. As for the American breakfast, it's less about being a variation and more about being an entirely different dish. You have chicken and waffles down south, breakfast burritos in New Mexico, bagnettes in New Orleans, and of course, the bodega sandwich for New Yorkers, too caught up in the hustle and bustle of city life. It's a cultural mishmash anywhere you go, so take your pick. Now that you know the difference between the classic American breakfast and a full English breakfast, which one do you like better? Engage and enrage in the comment section right below us. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for all things food, and we'll see you soon.